let's get started. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, beautiful people back at home who are probably watching. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yep, it's 1 p.m. where I am, so time for stream. Oh, man. Yep, there is a lot. Sorry, I'm just wrapping up a message with somebody right now. Yeah, just wrap that up. Okay. All right. You now have my undivided attention. Hello, everybody. Yes, the Record of Ragnarok video is up. I'm so glad I was able to get that up because the company that owned it, the Japanese company, kept trying to take it down. And I literally had to threaten to take them to court to get them to frickin' leave it alone. So I'm glad that worked. Did not want to have to go through that process. Yeah, sorry, there's no background right now. I've got a bunch of stuff piled in front of it. Here, you want me to be transparent? Look, that's what's in front of my background. Bunch of stuff. So, yeah. It's a whole thing right now because I'm moving some stuff around, and so I'd have to like move it all again in order to get access to the background. So now you get this beautiful, nice, white, nostalgia critic background. Oh, why are you sad? Don't be sad. Who is the goddess of length? Demeter. Funny. No, but yeah, I'm really glad the Record of Ragnarok video's up. It's fully monetized. Every sponsorship's on there and everything. So, and you guys are being really, really supportive on it, and I appreciate that. Who's my favorite actor? That's hard. Probably Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill. What's the bottom part of my top? There you go. We're going to Candy Mountain. It's a Charlie the Unicorn shirt. This is my second vid of yours. Oh, cool. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Hello, remember me? J102? I think so, yeah. Best mythology? I mean, it's subjective entirely. It depends on what you're into. If you want the craziest mythology, it's Japanese. If you want the more like badass mythologies, Norse and Mesopotamian are kind of up there. If you want the mythology with the biggest, most interconnected story, I'd say go for Hinduism. And if you want the more classical, well established mythology, I think you want Greek. And if you want, the mythology where, God isn't just, like, evil all the time, then you want either Hinduism or New Testament Christianity. And like, I'm sure there's other stuff, too. I love you too. Favorite goddess? Kali from Hinduism. Kali's awesome. Is there a god of rebirth? Yes, there is. There's a few, actually. I did a video on one in particular, and now I can't remember. Oh, whoa, what happened? The chat disappeared. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, shit. Come on. What the fuck happened? God. You son of a bitch. What the hell? Okay. Are we live again? What happened? Are we live again? Are we okay? Are we okay? Guys, tell me if I'm live. I don't know. Okay, are we okay? Okay, thank God. Oh God, I thought I lost the whole stream. I don't know what happened there. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I don't know what happened. Oh, the whole thing just went down and I had to, like... Okay, I'm glad I can keep it going in the same one. That's wonderful. Whew, alright. Sorry about that, guys. Really, truly sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Um... Mythology Guy, whilst I know they didn't have Whoa, whoop, there went what I was reading. Whilst I know they didn't have firearms, I have kind of thought of one. The name I came up with was Flintar. You should do some interesting stuff with this concept. Are you referring to, like, ancient cultures not having firearms? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, if you have your own ideas, like, for your own lore, I'd recommend starting, your own channel and spreading it around. Like, my channel's, like, I talk about the, like, established stuff from ancient times and everything. But I love when people make up their own stuff. That's really cool. By the way, I was sick when I recorded the Record of Ragnarok video. I don't know if any of you guys can hear it in the way I talk in that video, but I'm glad no one's commenting about it, so I think it came out pretty good. Very happy about that. What's my favorite mythology, favorite person from the mythology, and favorite myth? Okay, well, my two favorites are Greek and Japanese. And Greek is the one that's been with me longer, so let's just say it's Greek. My favorite person from Greek myth, top two would be Hades and Heracles. Favorite myth is easily the 12 Labors of Heracles. Who's my favorite Greek god? I think I just answered that. Can you play Shadow of War? I have played Shadow of War. I love that game after they removed the market. When the market was in there, I hated the game and I stopped playing it. Then I heard they took it out, and I was like, okay, I'll play it again. And then I played through it. It was a great game. Talos versus the Colossus from God of War. Oh, you're talking about the Colossus, the Apollo statue. Um, I mean, there's not really an easy way to power scale them because the Colossus of Rhodes, that's what it is. The Colossus of Rhodes isn't in Greek mythology. We just see it fight Kratos in God of War 2, and we never see Kratos fight Talos, so it's not an easy thing to power scale. I imagine it'd be... No, you know what? I'm going to say Talos would be better because Talos was built by Hephaestus, whereas the Colossus of Rhodes wasn't. And come on, you don't mess with the stuff Hephaestus makes. What is Uranus's Roman name? I actually don't remember. I know Gaia's Roman name is Terra, Kronos' Roman name is Saturn. What's Uranus's Roman name? Let's find out. Caelus. Didn't know that. Cool. Oh, Nick, thank you for the donation. Since Death Battle gave us an idea for Heracles versus Sun Wukong, what's your opinion on Heracles versus Thor? I think that would be a really cool death battle to see. It's hard to say who would win. No, I'm going to say Thor would win. I think Thor has that. Because, Thor, I'm sure he's going to have his gauntlets, I'm sure he's going to have his belt, and I'm sure he's going to have his hammer. Then again, actually, hold up. Heracles has the poison arrows, and Thor ends up dying by poison. I'd be really interested to see who is the sexiest god. Again, hard thing to scale. It could be Ishtar, it could be Aphrodite, it could be Freya. Let's just say Aphrodite. Be safe. Do all your streams look like they're from 2009? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I have a good Logitech webcam. I don't know, I don't have. I use a webcam for these. Maybe I should switch to a proper expensive camera. But and I'm sure also it's this background is fucking it up. Sorry about that. Artemis versus Vidar. Probably Artemis. Do you play fighting games? I play Mortal Kombat. I hated Mortal Kombat 11. I hope Mortal Kombat 1 is a lot better. And I play Smash Ultimate, and I was playing Multiverses, but you can't play it anymore right now. And I played Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but it was really underwhelming, and now apparently they're making a second one. Favorite Norse god? Loki. He has very entertaining stories. Can you watch 300 Spartans? Are you talking about the movie 300? I've seen 300. Who hasn't seen 300? What does Loki look like? The only real description of Loki we have from ancient sources is that he was a very good-looking god. People argue about his hair color and his eye color. I think maybe it's mentioned somewhere that his eyes were green, but his hair color actually isn't mentioned. Some people have said Loki's hair is fire, but that actually comes from mixing up Loki with Logi. Logi is a completely different character in Norse myth, and people conflate them for obvious reasons. It's almost the exact same name. Logi is a giant who is literally the embodiment of fire itself. But I like the idea of Loki's hair being like the color of fire, like being all red and yellow. I think that's a cool idea. Though, of course, now that Loki, since Loki ends up getting strapped down and having acid pour on his face, I imagine he has a big acid scar. Favorite color? Black. Hades versus Lucifer. Guys, you keep asking me all these versus questions. It's not easy to power scale these characters. God. My grandma passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Cruz, thank you for the donation. Have you seen the theory that Loki is a family god? No, I have not seen that. I didn't know that was a thing going on at all. Does my stream look that bad? Honestly, on my end, it looks really good, but maybe it's just maybe it just looks bad on your end. Do you read the Injustice comics? Yes, those are my second favorite comics of all time. Number one being Fables. Are there demigods in Norse mythology? Yes, Brunhilde is a demigod, and so is Thrud. Actually, no, Thrud is a full god. Kinda, sorta. But Brunhilde is a demigod. Favorite... Oh, whoop, there that went. Favorite mythology from fiction? Oh, you mean like a mythology that no one ever actually believed? Probably either the mythos of Star Wars or the mythos of Aragon. One of those two. Thank you for getting me into loving mythology. Oh, I'm so happy to see that. Okay, I'm sorry I went downstairs so I didn't hear any answer, but is there a goddess of length in mythology? I mean, I think someone was just making a joke about Demeter, but, honestly, there probably is. Greek mythology has gods for literally everything. Japanese mythology has gods for literally everything. I just don't know the name of one off the top of my head. Is there going to be Croatian mythology in your game? Well, not at launch, but, if the game succeeds, I want to add lots and lots of expansions to it, so, hopefully we can eventually get that. Like, the game's going to launch with Greek, Egyptian, Norse, Mesoamerican, Chinese, Japanese, and Hinduism. So, 7 myths. And if it does well, I already have plans for, like, Celtic, Native American, Polynesian, and Mesopotamian. I would love to do also, like, put some Arabian Nights stuff in there. So, as you can tell, like, I would really like to keep going. I'm glad you stole my Oedipus joke. Hey, it's the guy who came up with the joke. Yeah, no, this dude, he wrote in one of my pun videos that joke about Oedipus and a baby kangaroo inside their mothers. I was like, oh, I have to do that. And I'm glad he was a really great sport about it, so that's great. What if Loki kidnapped Hebe? Well, I don't see how he would do that since he's tied down right now. I assume we're talking pre-tied down. Well, I imagine the Greek gods would go over to the Norse gods and say, hey, give it back. And the Norse gods would be like, Loki, give the woman back. And they'd be like, all right, boom. And then they'd beat the crap out of Loki or something. Whoa, okay, we got some donations coming in. I need to stop the chat. I hate this change YouTube made. They made it harder for me to stop the chat. Okay, Ashutosh Geeg, I'm terribly sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Thank you for the donation. Would you make a video on mythological inaccuracies in Adi Purush based on the Ramayana after the movie comes on streaming. It was quite hot garbage. Okay, so here was the original plan. After I saw how garbage that trailer was for Adi Purush, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a lot of content based on this film because I don't do a lot of Hinduism stuff, and it's time I did more of it. So I was gonna go watch the movie. I was gonna make a discussion video on the movie. I was gonna make one of those fun watch party videos like I did for Gods of Egypt on the movie. I was then gonna do either a review or an inaccuracy video because I really thought, this would be a good movie to really delve into. But the creators of Adi Purush are pieces of crap because they just freaking struck down my trailer reaction immediately. I disputed, no. I appealed, no. So it's like, am I gonna put all that work into all these videos for that movie, or really any video for that movie, just for them to take it down? Like, a lot of work goes into an inaccuracy vid, and to have it get taken down really feels awful. So as of right now, I would really like to make videos about it, but I don't believe I can. That's the problem. That's where the problem is, unfortunately. I'd have to really try to make it in a way that you can't copyright claim it at all, but YouTube's system is absolute garbage. Thank you for the donation, though. Ryan, thank you for the donation. When we get more Celtic gods, I'm fiending for it. There's a Celtic Myth playlist on the channel. I know I haven't done a Celtic video in a while. You're right, I'll try to do more. Brandon, thank you for the donation. Ever hear of the Mythology TTRPG Skyon? No, I have not. I have not heard of that. This is the first I am hearing of that. Okay, gotta scroll through now. I think there was another donation. But, yeah, there it is. Cameron, thank you for the donation. You're my hero, sir. Keep up the great work. Aww. Aw, you guys are so nice. Oh, and that's Cameron's first super chat. Well, thank you very much, Cameron. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. YouTube used to have an easy way to pause the chat. Now they don't. I don't know what they did. Why did they ruin that? So that I could, read something, without it flying by. But they don't have that anymore, so now I have to, be actively scrolling through it to get it to stop. It's really annoying. Okay, so now I'm going to read the questions from Patreon supporters, because these people are directly supporting the channel. And then I will get right back to you guys, I promise. Alright, so Patreon supporter Gavin Lothar asked, are there any ancient myth stories about people making deals with devil figures? Whose power would you rather have, Ghost Rider or Spawn? Deals with devil figures. Yeah, deal with the devil is such a common trope nowadays. You'd think there would be a lot of myths of people making deals with devils. I mean, obviously there's fairy tales of it, there's the old Rumpelstiltskin story, and then there's the Tom Tit Tot story, which is basically the exact same thing. As for in mythology, though, I'm sure it's there, I just can't really think of one. I mean, there's Hajun, or Hajun, I don't know how to pronounce it, but there's Hajun in, Indian tales who lures people away from the path of Buddha and stuff like that. But as for full deals, I mean, people make deals with Hades in Greek myth, but he's not evil, but he is an underworld god people make deals with. So yeah, there is a lot of that. Don't spam the chat. I hate banning people. Please don't spam the chat. So yeah, there's that, obviously. And that's what I've got off the top of my head. But yeah, I hope that answers it. And whose power would I rather have, Ghost Rider or Spawn? Well, if we're just talking power without the consequences, probably Spawn. But if we're talking with the consequences, Ghost Rider, because I don't want to have a burnt flesh face and everything like Spawn does. I'd rather just turn into a skeleton at night. Can I cover Icelandic and Norwegian myths? I think I have done a couple of those, haven't I? Oh no, I'm thinking of Inuit myths. Okay, yeah, I can definitely do that in the future. What does Q&A mean? It means question and answer. Will you read The Chalice of the Gods and Sun in the Star? You know, I have Sun in the Star, so yeah, I will read it. Chalice of the Gods I don't have yet, but yeah, I'm sure at some point I will. Ares versus the Horsemen of War. Horsemen of War. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this isn't a Q&A question, but Christopher D. Sampson II really liked one of my shorts, and he said, "Did Midas shit on your channel? Because this is gold." Thank you, Christopher. All right, Alexios Apollo asks, "Who is your favorite Marvel superhero?" Deadpool. And he was before the movie came out. I was one of the people who really wanted the movie to come out back when it wasn't coming out. Because, I knew Ryan Reynolds was passionate about the character. And then the leaked footage came out, and I really wanted the movie to come out, and then the movie came out, and now everybody loves Deadpool. So, really happy about that. I love a smart-ass character who is legitimately funny, and Q&A means question and answer, fanatic of myths. Are you saying because you think it says Conda? It's Q and A. That's what it says. Yeah. So I've always loved Deadpool. I played the Deadpool video game, and that was hilarious. I've read Deadpool comics, and they're a lot of fun. So I really like Deadpool. Oh, and I've seen him in like the Spider-Man cartoon and stuff. All right. Lastly, Aaron Reich asks, "Do you know why Aristeus annoys the other gods? Because he's always being so cheesy." Lastly, here with the puns. Aristeus is a god of cheese making, for anyone who doesn't know. "Do you know why Athena turned Arachne into a monster? To spite her." I'm going to be honest, I don't get that one. "Do you know what happened to King Midas's daughter after he gave her a hug? She became a real..." She became a real golden child, and he started treasuring her more. I might steal that one. Thank you, Lassie, for the puns. I appreciate them. Alright, now guys, stop. We have a question from Jesus himself. The Jesus asks, "I know I said I was going to stop pestering you about it, but you mentioned you had even more problems with the Raiden versus Shiva fight in Record of Ragnarok than you did with the Jack versus Heracles, but I don't really remember you mentioning what the problems were, so what are they? Also, what's your favorite Lego and ice cream flavor?" Wait, Lego set or Lego piece? It looks like you wrote Lego piece. I mean, my favorite Lego piece is just the standard brick. You know, I have a lot of good memories with that. Or maybe a mini figure if I'm allowed to count the whole figure. Favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate peanut butter. Basically Reese's flavor. Yeah, if I recall, Shiva versus Raiden just had horrible pacing. It was so slow to watch. And, I mean, I liked Raiden as a character, but, and Shiva, like, it just felt like such a waste of Shiva. You don't give him any of his awesome powers. You don't give him any of his awesome weapons or symbols. No Trishula or anything. His backstory was ridiculous, in my opinion. Like, why even make it Shiva? Character was nothing like Shiva at all. Like, same thing with Heracles. Like, why even, like, oh, for the modern stuff, I get it. Like, he felt like Heracles. But in the backstory, absolutely nothing like Heracles. And Shiva's backstory was just, like, doing this weird tournament with this god who has never been a thing in Hinduism. And this tournament was never a thing, and it wasn't even that fun to watch because it's just a fist fight over and over again. And, what did they do to Vishnu's design? Jesus. I don't know, I was just bored watching the Shiva fight, honestly. I didn't like it. And yeah, I know not everyone agrees with me on that, but, everyone's got their own way of thinking of things. Can you do a video on unknown gods like Huehuecoyotl, please? Here, I'll give you some hope. Huehuecoyotl's actually going to be in my card game, so hopefully that makes you happy right there. Favorite movie? Well, one of my favorites is definitely The Dark Knight. I also really love Forrest Gump and It's a Wonderful Life. Those are some of my favorites. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, the Jesus. And then last of all, we've got from Justin Brown. I wasn't sure if anyone told you, but Record of Ragnarok Season 2 cut out the scene from the manga where Jesus was supposed to appear alongside the four sages. It also regarded him as mortal, even though Jesus is God incarnate. Yeah, actually, a lot of people were commenting that on the Record of Ragnarok season 2 part 2 video, and I think that's really stupid that they cut Jesus out of the show. I think they were trying not to offend Christians. Let me tell you something. I'm Christian, and I'm annoyed that you cut him out of the show. I would have loved to see him there. I think it would have made the show more entertaining. To have Buddha's, peanut gallery be like Jesus and the other sages. It would have been great, but I don't know why they didn't do that. That was stupid of them. It was also stupid of them to change Hagen's name to Papias. I know who Hagen is. I don't know. I went in like the show and like you go, "Hi, I'm Papias." I go, "Who the hell is Papias? You look and act like Hagen." And then I find out later it is Hagen. I'm like, why didn't you just call him Hagen? Stupid. You're the goat. Thank you. Artemis versus Thor. I'm going to say if Artemis has her stealth game going, like, it could be Artemis, honestly. But if we're talking just a straight-up, like, front-to-front fight, it's going to be Thor. Do you watch Star Wars? Yeah, who doesn't? I guess there are people who don't, but I've seen pretty much everything Star Wars there is. Oh, my vent is going off. I already answered I answered whether Croatian will be in the game. Can I do a video about Croatian myth? Sure, yeah, I can do that. Do you believe in the algorithm gods? No, but I believe in the algorithm. What's my favorite shirt? This is definitely one of them, honestly. I also really love my shirt with the Star Wars helmets on it. That's another one of my favorites. Is Chernobog only Slavic god people recognized in pop culture? Well, I've never seen anything with Perrin or Veles or Marzana in it. Baba Yaga's not a god. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's really just Chernobog right now. Like, he's the only really popular one, and that's just because of Disney. And even in the Disney thing, it was actually originally supposed to be Satan. They just changed it to Chernobog. Who is the creator of God, if you know it? You mean the creator of the Christian God? I don't think there is one. Is there? Feel free to tell me. Have you read the Michael Vey book series? No, I have not. I'm sorry. What if Loki turned into a woman in Greece? Well, then he'd have to turn back before Zeus, bangs him. We know Loki can be vulnerable in his other forms since a horse banged him. Favorite Greek god? Hades and Heracles. There's a new mobile game out called Myth Gods of Asgard. It's a hack and slash based on Norse myth. You should play it. It's like a Norse version of the Hades game. Oh, that sounds really awesome. Hopefully it doesn't suck like almost every other mobile game does, but yeah, I could try that. God created himself. Okay, well then it's a trick question, isn't it? Can you do African mythology, please? Yeah, I'm trying to learn more African myth. I actually bought a book on West African myths. I know some, but not a ton. The main West African myth I know is the tale of Anansi, which I loved growing up and I still love today. So I'm going to try to learn more of that. I also really want to learn more voodoo. Like, I know some voodoo, not a ton. I know about Baron Samedi and Papa Legbe. But, yeah, trying to learn more of that. I technically do Egyptian mythology. That's African, so... But, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You want me to do some, Yoruba, voodoo, and West African. I got you. South African myths, I'll eventually try to get into. Do you like sleeping? When I'm able to. I have a lot of insomnia, so makes it difficult to sleep. Favorite Japanese god? Hachiman. Really like Hachiman. Zeus. Woo. Oh, shoot. There it goes. Dang it. I already answered the question about watching 300. God, I hate how YouTube changed this freaking system. Now it's so hard to stay on a question. Okay. I've got to ask, how's the card game coming along? By the way, I'm trying to put as much space as possible between my messages to not spam, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, card game is still coming along. So here's the thing. Let me be fully honest with you guys. This last month, July, was a crazy month for me. A lot happened, and as a lot of you know, I got really sick for a while, and it's just it made being productive really difficult. And And I have a lot in my life, to keep up with, and I have a relationship to keep up with, and I have friendships I'm trying to keep going, and I'm trying to keep the content flowing, and obviously I was making the Record of Ragnarok video, and then it got freaking copyright taken down, and I had to deal with stuff. So I didn't make any progress on the game in July, and I'm trying to make up for that this month, but it really is almost done. It really is almost done. Like I said, the art is all done. I just need to finish, finalizing a few abilities, and that's and then I just need to send that over to Game Crafter to make the prototype, and then we're pretty much good to go. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that out soon. Is Set red? In all the art I've seen, he's either black or gray. Yeah, Set's been depicted as black a lot, but he's also been depicted as red, and I think it's better to go with the red one, because in black he looks too much like Anubis. It's a good way to set them apart. But you could depict him as black and still be correct. Okay, what character did Record of Ragnarok absolutely destroy and make a massive letdown? In my opinion, it's Poseidon. He was getting trolled so hard and lost without using his damn water powers. Yeah, I agree with you on that, but I think the character I was most annoyed that they didn't do properly was, again, I'd say either Shiva or Heracles. But maybe I'd go with Shiva, because Heracles, during the fight, kind of felt like Heracles. But even so, there was a lot of missed opportunity. But his backstory was just so... Look, inaccurate itself doesn't mean bad, but it was a bad backstory. It was stupid. His regular backstory is so much better. Why don't you just go with that? I don't get it. This is by far the most active chat I've been in when taken into account of the amount of people. Oh, yeah. Pretty active people. What Norse gods match the 7 deadly sins? Well, Loki definitely matches pride and greed. Odin also kind of matches greed. Thor matches wrath, I would say. Sloth? Do any of them really match sloth? I wouldn't say that. They all match gluttony. What else is there? Envy? Odin matches envy. He wants all the stuff. Yeah, Sun Wukong versus Chaos? I think Chaos would find a way. Yeah. Does Hades have does claws in God of War? I think you're asking if Hades' weapons in God of War match his actual weapons in Greek myth, which, no, they don't. Hades uses a bident in Greek myth. I talked about that in the God of War 3 inaccuracy video. My favorite mythologies are Greek and Japanese. Islam is a mythology? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Do you know the South African Groot slang? Yes, I do. Mahavishnu versus Amun-Ra? Probably Vishnu. Yeah. Me and a few friends have been writing a musical about Loki and Hel... Oh, nowhere to go. There it is. And Loki and Hel causing Ragnarok after Thor kills Angerboda? What do you think of that? Jesus. I think people would definitely watch that. People love Loki. People love Hel. People are starting to love Angerboda. It would definitely be something people would be into. So, yeah, cool. I'm not trying to spam because of flow of messages, but I'll ask, what is your wisdom with Mimir quote of the day? Okay, here, I'll give you an early peek at what I was going to make this weekend. Okay, wisdom with Mimir. Just pretend there's nothing under this tissue box. It's much cheaper to buy a sign that says "Smile, you're on camera" than it is to buy an actual camera. There you go. There's your wisdom with Mimir today. Zeus versus Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. Zeus is Shiva's friend in Marvel Comics. Well, that sounds interesting. Favorite song? One of my favorites is definitely Any Way You Want It by Journey. I love that song. Does Hades... Okay, you're asking the Hades clause thing again. I already answered that. I'm going to try to avoid answering the same question twice because there are so many questions in the chat. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. Wait, what was that about Celtic myth? What's your favorite Celtic myth other than any Irish myths? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I do like a lot of Irish myths like Cuchulainn and Lugh of the Long Arm. Okay. Well, I really like the Scottish Nuckelavee. That's a really cool creature. Also, isn't the Headless Horseman Scottish? So that's another one. The Dullahan. Or is that Irish? Oh, I don't remember. Cruise Trip, thank you for the $2 donation. It looks like you're being kidnapped. I am not being kidnapped. I'm too fat. They can't lift me. Boop, boop. I stay safe. I eat lots of pizza. Nyx versus Cert. Ooh, that's a good one. That's actually kind of hard. I'm going to go with Nyx. They're both kind of primordials, basically, but I'll go with Nyx. I'll say Nyx could beat Cert. Manuel, thank you for the $10 donation. Are there any stories in other mythologies, such as Egyptian, Norse, or Mesoamerican, that surround human heroes? Or is Greek mythology unique in that aspect? Greek mythology probably has the most of it, but yeah, there are others. Norse mythology has Sigurd. That's a very popular tale. He's a human hero who, has a long story. Mesopotamian mythology has the tale of Gilgamesh. That's a huge, probably the most ancient story we've ever had. Celtic mythology has Cuchulainn and Finn McCool, and, it goes on and on. Even Aztec mythology has... Shit, what's his name? The guy who took down, 10 men during his gladiatorial sacrifice. Hold on, I have him in the game. What's his name? Tlawi Kol. Yeah. Tlawi Kol's a total badass. So yeah, there's plenty in other mythologies, just Greek has the most of it. Some guy, thank you for the donation. Hey man, I really like your content, and I'd like to ask if you could do a mythological inaccuracies on the game Hades. Well, thank you very much, some guy. Yeah, actually, I owe you all an apology. That is the game I forgot to talk about in my most requested videos video. That actually has been very highly requested, and I forgot to put it on the list of things I need to talk about. I'm an idiot. I'm very sorry for that. So I'm going to talk about it here. Will I do an inaccuracy for the game Hades? I think I will. It's just gonna be a huge undertaking because anyone who's played Hades knows that there is an absolute metric crap ton of dialogue in that game to go through. But I also know you guys really want that video, so I'm gonna try to do it. And here's what I'll try to do. I think in order, just to put it up when I think you'd all be most interested in it, I'll put it up maybe around the time Hades 2 comes out. I'll try to do that. Because it's going to take me a long time to make. You guys, I've got to go through how many hours of dialogue are in Hades? Jeez Louise. It took me 175 hours to 100% that game. So, maybe that gives you an idea. Perrin versus Thor. It would be so cool to see Perrin versus Thor because those two are so similar. But Perrin has an axe and Thor has a hammer. I'd say, look, I it's hard to give a definitive answer on who would win, but that's a fight I want to see so bad in a movie or animation or something. Who is the Grim Reaper? Is it the Horseman of Death or Azrael? The answer is yes. There are Grim Reapers in several mythologies. Now, the main Grim Reaper, yeah, I think would be the Horseman of Death, but it has, almost every mythology has its own Grim Reaper, really. Egyptian mythology has Anubis, and Japanese mythology has a whole race of Grim Reapers called the Shinigami. And then there's Azrael, the Angel of Death from angel lore, and then there's the Horseman of Death from the Book of Revelation. And it goes on and on. There's a lot of Reapers, a lot of figureheads. Thanatos in Greek myth is another great example. And if you ask me, it's very clear that Thanatos and Azrael, one clearly influenced the other. Chase Hugh Kill, thank you for the donation. Loved the Record of Ragnarok video. Thank you. It took forever. I'm dying to see you cover American Tall Tales, as I just did a deep dive and learned of Captain Stormalong and Joe Magarak. I actually was planning to, at some point, do an American Tall Tales and Urban Legends video. I actually, just during the last few days, I went and I picked up a book at Barnes & Noble of American cryptids. So, yeah, we're going to hope at some point do something on that. What's the difference between mythology and religion? You know, that's the kind of question that I've been planning on making a whole video talking about. But here I'll give you a short summarized answer from my perspective. There is not a difference between mythology and religion. Because mythology simply means, like, supernatural beliefs that have been widely believed and accepted that explain phenomena. Whereas, like, religion is just, like, kind of like active worship of supernatural figures. And, look, there's about 80 different definitions for both, but those are the ones I kind of go with. And some people might be saying, oh no, well, mythology just means we don't believe it anymore. So it's like Greek mythology. No one believes that anymore. Well, the problem is there are people who still believe that for some reason. I don't get it at all. But, so does that mean we're not allowed to call it Greek mythology anymore? Are we only allowed to call it Greek religion? Well, if we call it Greek religion, then are we talking about, like, the Olympian gods, or are we talking about Christianity? Because a lot of Greeks are now Christians. So what do we call it? So I aspire to the thing that mythology is just another word for religion. Like, that's how I go with it. Who is stronger, Nyx or Chaos? I would definitely say Chaos. Sun Wukong versus Nyx. I feel like that fight would just never end. Like, because Nyx wouldn't be able to find a way to kill Sun Wukong, but Sun Wukong wouldn't be able to kill Nyx either. Can you make a video about Baba Yaga? I actually did do a video joking about Baba Yaga a while ago, but yeah, I could probably do more in the future. Is King Arthur a part of mythology? Yeah, Arthurian legend counts as mythology, and it's part of Celtic culture, so you could easily count that as Celtic mythology. Can God of War Kratos win every round in Record of Ragnarok? I'm sure he could. I'm very sure he could. Rod versus Fanes. I'm sorry, I don't know who Rod is. Could you easily defeat Zeus? No, I'm just a guy. I probably can't beat my housemate in a fight. Vishnu is part of the Sky Fathers in Marvel Comics. Awesome. Do we get the word Fury from the Three Furies? I believe we do, yes. What is the most down-to-earth mythology? I'd say it's either Abrahamic religion, except when it's, used to justify garbage, but Abrahamic religion at its core. And I don't just say that because I'm Christian, I really mean that. Or Hinduism, because that's about also, like, connecting with oneself and the world around you and stuff like that. And some people might be saying, like, why are you excluding, like, Islamic religion in that? I don't know it well enough. That's just the fact. Like, I don't know it super well. I had to, like, do some serious research for the videos I did do, like the Ramadan one, and even then some people, like, disagreed on, like, the way I presented that. So, yeah. Was Jack Skellington inspired by Stingy Jack? Yeah, I really think he was. I really do think he was. But you can defeat Odin, right? Why would you think I can? I'm a guy sitting here in a Charlie the Unicorn shirt. Do a flip, please? Okay. Here's my phone. Flip. Boom. Did a flip. You're welcome. Zoe from Superman versus Record of Ragnarok? Who's Zoe from Superman? Are you talking about Chloe? Oh, I don't know. Is Pallas a Titan or a giant? Pallas is a Titan, not a giant. Is Thanatos bisexual? Not in anything I've seen. Unless you count the Hades game as canon. Do a barrel roll. Okay. Woo! Woo! There you go. Happy? Islam is a mythology. Yeah, I've already said, yeah. What's my favorite anime? Probably Food Wars. My favorite manga is Dragon Ball, though. Yeah, Food Wars is so much fun. Are Lucifer and Satan the same, or are they different? It depends on who you ask. There are different tellings. There's one where I don't get calling them two different, like with the seven princes of hell thing, sometimes they make them different. I personally prescribe to that they're just the same. Fury comes from a Latin word. Whoa, 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 there it goes. Fury comes from a Latin word. Technically, the Furies are the Roman counterpart to the Greek Erinyes. Aren't the... Oh, wait, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I actually... Is Fury only from Rome? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Cool. Or, I don't know. I'll have to check something. But in the meantime, JD DeBeast, thank you for the $5 donation. Zeus versus Ra versus Odin. Who wins in a three-way battle? Okay, well, if they're all at their maximum potential, I'm going to say Ra. Because Ra is actually also basically a tomb. And a tomb is the first and most powerful being in Egyptian myth. Like, the most powerful beings in Egyptian mythology are Atum, Ma'at, and Apophis. And Ra battles Apophis and basically is Atum, so I think Ra could beat Zeus and Odin. Odin gets eaten by a wolf, and Zeus, is scared of Nyx. I think Ra could beat them. Who is your favorite minor Greek deity? Oh, well, Heracles. Heracles when he's, a full god. If I'm not allowed to include him, let's just say, then it would probably be either Thanatos or Kiametes, the Lord of Beans. Just because I think it's hilarious that he exists. Victor, thank you for the donation. Have you ever heard of Nixie? You mean like Nixies, the little sprites from Mythology? Yeah, I've heard of those. Typhon versus Jormungandr. I think Typhon would win that fight. MCU Thor versus Myth Thor? Oh, Myth Thor. Easy. Obviously, from my Every Inaccuracy in Thor video, Myth Mjolnir is way more powerful than Marvel Mjolnir. Why do people get Heracles' name wrong? Because the Romans called him Hercules, and Rome was a legendary civilization that, had a lot of influence. So I imagine that's how the name Hercules got spread around more through, oral, word of mouth and everything. And then, the name Hercules got used for multiple movie and TV show adaptations. And so that's why in modern day we're all still calling him Hercules, even though the proper name would be Heracles. So, that's how it happened. I get how it happened. I'm not actually mad about it. It's just funny to act like it in videos. Zeus versus two Hecatoncheires. That would be very interesting to see. I'm going to say Zeus. Because if you think about it, the Hecatoncheires were being held in Tartarus by Comp, and Zeus killed Comp. So, yeah. Achilles versus Hercules. Hercules. Achilles' body couldn't be pierced, but neither could the Nemean lions, and Hercules beat the Nemean lion, didn't he? Favorite Slavic god? It's either Perun or Veles. Any more Polynesian myth stuff upcoming? I actually might make an Every Inaccuracy on Moana, and when I do research for an Every Inaccuracy vid, it often gives me a lot of sketch and fun fact ideas, so you might be seeing a bunch of that too. But I'm trying to decide whether to do Moana now or to wait until the remake is coming out, when people are more interested in that kind of topic. But I've got other stuff I might be working on in the meantime. A lot of people want Clash of the Titans, and actually in my video discussing most requested stuff, I asked you guys, would you be cool with if I did a video on Aladdin, because that's something I really want to do, and you guys were really pro that, so might be seeing that soon. And thank you for being supportive of that. Which yokai is your favorite? That's a hard question. I really like the Nurikab, the thing Snorlax is based off of. I also really like Oiwa-san, the woman who is both a Chochinobake and a Onryo. It's a really cool story. So there's some for you. Oh, and the Baku. I really like the Baku. Shiva versus Buddha versus Chaos versus Amir versus... Jesus Christ, you guys. Buddha. He's connected to anything and everything. He cannot be defeated. He's the one guy who beat Sun Wukong. I'm just going to say Buddha. It would either be Buddha or Chaos, because Chaos is pure Chaos, but then Buddha is connected to the Chaos. I'm just going to say Buddha. Does Norse mythology have a god of darkness? Yes, Hod is the god of darkness in Norse mythology, the blind god. Is Allah the most powerful creature in all myths, since he's basically everything? Yeah, like Allah / Yahweh / Jehovah is basically, because he's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. You can't really beat that. So he wins because he's cheating. Can you do a beginner's guide to Celtic mythology? Oh, wait, let me answer this donation question really quick before YouTube makes it disappear. JD DeBees, thank you for another donation. Could you do a movie review of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action? Oh, God. It would be hella funny to see you get angry looking over that movie. Yeah, maybe someday. It's more of a culture thing than a mythology thing, but I'm sure people wouldn't mind. I love the show so much, and yeah, that movie sucks ass. It's one of the worst movies ever made. Yeah, maybe someday. Okay, beginner's guide to Celtic myth. Celtic is kind of all... It's a little all over the place because it's a lot of different countries. Celtic employs Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and British cultures all together. It includes the Arthurian myths. It includes fairies. A lot of fairies in Celtic myth. Leprechauns are actually fairies. A lot of people don't know that. And it has a bunch of dark creatures like the Dullahan and the Nuckelavee. Victor, thank you for the donation. I already answered the Nixie question, though. Yes, I have heard of Nixies. In fact, we're talking about Celtic myth right now. And one interesting thing about Celtic myth, it's a myth where the gods can die, and there are multiple races of gods. There are the Tuatha De Danann, are basically the human-looking gods, and then there are the Fomorians, which are basically the giants of Celtic myth. And yeah, they fought each other a lot. They had a great war, and then after that, it was just kind of Game of Thrones style god behavior, with who gets to be in charge and shit like that. What's a cool Greek myth fact? Okay, cool Greek. I've done so many fun fact videos. I'm trying to do one I haven't already done. Did you know the Greeks have both a god for mixed wine and a god for unmixed wine, and Dionysus? I think that's kind of funny. Supernatural, mythological inaccuracies. Oh yeah, people have been asking for videos on Supernatural for a while, and I do plan to eventually watch that. I'll probably watch it with my friend Shane. He's already seen it, and he's a fan, so we'll probably watch it together and then do videos talking about each season. And if it seems like the kind of thing I can do inaccuracy vids on, then possibly, yeah. Best Filipino myth. My favorites are the Capre and the Manananggal, honestly. The Capre is hilarious, and the Manananggal is so dark and gruesome. I really love... So, that's... I like dark stuff in myths, and I also like funny stuff in myths. The Capre is hilarious. He's literally a big fat guy with a cigar and a tree catcalling women. That's literally what he does. Poseidon versus Hades? No way to know. How was the Minotaur conceived? It was when King Minos' wife fell in love with a celestial bull, the Cretan bull, basically, and then she demanded Daedalus build her a fake female bull costume that she could wear so the bull could shove its thing into her, and that's how the Minotaur was conceived. Because Greek mythology is disgusting. Hi, Mythology Guy. Will any Slavic characters be added to the card game later on? Also, I don't blame you because so many people relate, but you don't pronounce Baba Yaga correct. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, eventually, actually, I have Slavic on the list of potential expansion. Is it Baba Yaga? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, God, these fucking versus questions you people keep asking me. Apophis versus Vritra versus Tiamat versus... Apophis. Apophis can swallow the sun. He'll just swallow the earth while all three of them are on it. The end. That's the end of that fight. JD, thank you for the donation. Barbie or Oppenheimer? I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I went and saw Barbie, and I was very, very disappointed. I thought it was just going to be a fun movie, and then I spent like an hour being told what a piece of crap I am for being a guy. It was not fun in the second half at all. I was very disappointed. Wilda hated it also for that. Because it does not like movies that man hate, so that's one of the great things about her. But it was funny. That was the one up. That was the one savior of the Barbie film. Was I did laugh a lot, but then all the like being told how awful I am for being a man was kind of annoying. It was kind of grating. PP versus Pooh, who would win? That's funny. Wilda's based. Yeah, Wilda's great. Could DC Comics Lucifer beat any Greek, or Egyptian, or Norse gods? Yeah, there are plenty of Greek, Egyptian, and Norse gods who are weak as all hell and could easily be beaten. I imagine DC Comic Lucifer could beat Priapus. I imagine he could beat Hod. I imagine he could beat, what's a really weak Egyptian god? Oh, I don't know right now, but you get the point I'm making. Can you make a full Christmas special about Krampus? People have been asking for that. I might eventually do that. I did do a fun fact about Krampus a while back during Christmas time. What's the punishment for people who say Hercules? There should not be a punishment. There's nothing wrong with saying Hercules. It's just funny. Greek versus Norse versus Egypt. If it's all of Greek, including the primordials, I'd say Greek would win. Because Greek has more primordials than Egypt does. So that's why I say that. What's the difference between mythology and folklore? Again, you could argue it's actually the same thing. Folklore is like on a smaller scale, kind of, but it's the same overall idea. What's your favorite sport? I love baseball personally. There went the question. Come on, let me read it. If you're into any sport, what's your favorite team? Okay. I don't follow any sport teams, honestly. But favorite sport? Okay. This is kind of an unconventional answer, and this is going to sound weird, but I love playing games that involve little balls. Let me explain what I mean by that. I love the hell out of mini golf. I love the hell out of ping pong. I love the hell out of foosball, and I love the hell out of pinball. Those are some games that Wild and I go nuts over anytime we see a place that has them. We're like, oh my god, a pinball machine, let's play on the pinball machine. Oh my god, there's ping pong here, let's play ping pong. Oh my god, there's a mini golf course, we gotta go in the mini golf course, that's us. So those are some of my favorites. But if I have to pick something with a big ball, dodgeball. I played dodgeball a lot growing up and I love it. Wendigo versus Minotaur? I think Minotaur. I don't see how the Wendigo could win that fight. Okay, let me try to answer this question because it looks like it's getting asked a lot. Oh wait, are Lucifer and the snake the same person? It depends on who you ask. Some say yes, some say no. Do you have a PhD in mythology knowledge? And did you know that Brahma is the creator of God because it said he created the gods and God in Christianity was after and younger similarly? Okay, I do not have a PhD in mythology or anything. I dropped out of college. I don't consider myself a super smart person. A lot of you guys say really nice things to me, and thank you for that. But I'm honestly just a person who mythology is a hobby. I don't have like a big degree in it or anything. That's why I call my channel The Mythology Guy and not like The Mythology Professor or anything like that. But, I've learned a lot of myths, and you guys seem to like it, so thank you for that. Now, I thought in Hindu myth, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the first being in Hindu myth was Shesha, and then a lotus flower came from Shesha, and out of that came Vishnu, and then Brahma and Shiva. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's another telling. And yes, it's perfectly fine to make... It sounds like you believe that both Hinduism and Christianity exist, which is cool. So yeah, maybe you could say that Brahma created the Christian god. If you believe in both, I could see that being a thing. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Okay, Perrin versus Kratos. Well, Kratos beat Thor, so I'm going to say he can beat Perrin too. Whose design is more accurate? Record of Ragnarok Hades or Disney Hades? Record of Ragnarok Hades would be more accurate, but I still love the Disney Hades. What if Kronos cut off Zeus's wee-wee during the Titanomachy? Then, a lot of Greek myth wouldn't have happened, basically. Can you make an Irish myth video? I have. There's a Celtic myth playlist with a lot of Irish stuff in it. Victor, thank you for the donation. How factually accurate do you believe Fate the Stay Night franchise is? Unfortunately, I don't know anything about that franchise yet. But from what I've seen on the designs, I'm going to guess not super accurate. Okay, what was that question? Hold on. I bet even a single drop of Chaos's power could make you 100 times more powerful than Zeus. Probably, but we're not in a situation where that's happening. So, yeah. When are you going to do the Mooshok video? It's Mooshok. What does that stand for? Okay, I don't know. The opinion on Wheeljack from Transformers. I don't remember which one Wheeljack is. Is that a newer one, or is that just one I don't remember? Like, I know about Optimus and Hotshot and Ironhide and, all of that. But, yeah. Can you do Caribbean folklore? I should do some Caribbean folklore. I love Caribbean stories. Why in Mesoamerican myths there are only 4 Tezcatlapocas? If they are... Whoa, there it went. Shit, I'm trying to read it. Okay. Why are there only 4 Tezcatlapocas if they are representations of the suns, but there are 5 suns? Mesoamerican can't decide how they want their sun deity shit to work. It went from Tezcatlipoca to Quetzalcoatl to Tlaloc to Calciatlique to Tonatiuh to Huitzilopochtli. So technically you actually have 6 suns. It goes all over the place. Like, it's just like Aztec mythology kept changing who they wanted the sun god to be. And I think it's because different sects of Aztecs couldn't agree on which one they wanted to worship. So I think that's how it came out. I think the reason for the 4 Tezcatlapocas might be because that was before Tonatiuh had been a thing. So they had only had 4 sons at the time. So I think that's why. Is Loki gay? I've never seen anything to suggest he might be gay. I know people use the fact that he got impregnated by Svadilfari, so that's the closest thing I can think of. But that was something he did because he had to. He was trying to get that horse away. When he was actually able to choose who he wanted to sleep with, it was, Angerboda and what's her name? Sigyn, I think. So it was women both times. So I would, at the most, he could be bi, but gay would mean only men, which is not the case. Yuri, thank you for the donation. Just a hello from a fan from Brazil, yay! Thanks for your excellent content, man. It's a lot of very instructive fun. Thank you, Yuri. I appreciate that. I've done some Brazilian myth videos. If you want to check them out, I hope you like them. Mushak the Mouse of the Mouse of Ganesh. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Are you the guy who messaged me on Instagram about Mushak? Yeah, a while back when I was still able to keep up with Instagram messages, somebody messaged me about doing a video about him. You're right, I completely forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I keep forgetting the name of... Sometimes I forget the names of the Vahana, the vehicles of the gods. The ones I always remember are Ukchai Shravas, and I was about to use the elephant as an example, and now I can't remember the name. Iravata. That's what it is. Yeah, those are the ones I remember. Oh, and Makara. That's another one I don't have trouble remembering. But, does Kama's bird have a name? Does, the peacock have a name? Those ones I never remember. Does it Agni's ram have a name? Anubis versus Osiris. I'm going to say Osiris. Are you going to be on Zagred's stream next week? Thank you. Yeah, if he has a stream next week, I'll be on it. I'm sorry there weren't streams the last couple of weeks. Yesterday, I was on a plane. It got delayed, and so I missed the stream, so I'm sorry for that. And the previous week, Zagred was way too busy. He was actually editing the Record of Ragnarok video, so that's part of the reason the stream didn't happen. So I'm very sorry for that. Have you read or watched American Gods? Not yet. It's it's on my reading list, and I want to read the books before I watch the show. So yeah. Underrated Greek god. Hestia. Hestia is Bestia. Okay, what would you do if you were kidnapped by Eris? I think if you're kidnapped by Eris, you have to act like you're into the same shit she's into to get out. You have to be like, hey, Eris, I've got some plans for some crazy shit that we can do. Like, you got one of those apples? And he's like, oh, yes, I do. Like, you know, tell her a really fun idea. And she gives you the apple, then you throw the apple at her, and then you run the fuck away. And then wait for inevitable death, because Greek gods always get the last laugh. Card game release update, please. Okay, yeah, so I wasn't really answering stuff on that because I actually talked about it earlier in this Q&A, but a lot of you guys seem to want it, so I'll answer it again. The card game is almost done. Art is all done. I need to finalize a few abilities and make sure they work okay, and then I'm going to send it over to GameCrafter to get a prototype made. And if I like the prototype, then we can move to mass production. So that's how we're doing with the card game. Have you heard of the PS3 Thor game? Yes, I have. I believe Angry Joe made a video about that. In what myth does Hestia appear? Greek. What if Nyx wanted to sleep with Loki? Then that would result in a very insane child. In fact, Hel sounds like she would be a child of that, doesn't she? Should Morpheus and Hypnos be the same god? I ask this due to it being strange that the god of sleep has no control over dreams and vice versa. Well, actually, you know, Morpheus isn't the only god of dreams. He has two brothers, and they cover different aspects of dreams and different things that happen in dreams. I think that's kind of cool, honestly. I always like there being more gods, so I'm good with them being separate. Please answer to Kakashi. Okay, where's Kakashi? Kakashi. Oh, here we go. What books do I need to get into Norse mythology? Okay. Well, some I definitely recommend are the Neil Gaiman Norse myth book is a wonderful introduction to Norse myths. The Dulaire's Norse myth book is also very good. And then if you want like more info, I'd say go to the Jake Jackson book. Jake Jackson has written books on pretty much every mythology and does a wonderful job. But those are some of my top recommendations. Neil Gaiman, Jake Jackson, and Dulaire's. And then if you want the actual like raw myths, you'd have to pick up the Edda by Snorri Sturluson, either the poetic, the prose, or what I have, which is a mix of the two. Dr. YouTube, thanks for the donation. Son of the Mask inaccuracy. Love your I don't think Son of the Mask lends well to an inaccuracy vid. That one's more of a review style video, which I think I will do someday. Opinion on Spinosaurus. I've always thought the Spinosaurus is actually really cool. I like Spinosaurus. What is more cliche, Hades as a villain or Kronos as a villain? Hades as a villain is more cliche, honestly. But Kronos is getting there. Kronos is definitely getting there. Opinion on Zagreus? Well, Zagreus was like an almost not used at all figure until the Hades game came out, and they made him pretty cool. I really like his character in that game. Who is the god of destruction in each mythology? Okay. Eris, Apophis. Who's the god of destruction in Norse? Oh, I don't remember. Definitely Shiva and Kali in Hindu. I'm sorry, this is taking me too long, and now I'm missing a whole bunch of other questions, but there's some for you. Whoa, what was that? Would you do a card set for Lovecraft mythos? I have that listed, yeah, on the list of potential expansions, but that would be very low priority, okay? I would want to make sure, that would probably be one of the last expansions, because I would want to get out the really, culture mythologies first. Artemis versus Cert? I don't think Artemis can beat Cert. Ever watched Bruce Almighty? It's my favorite movie ever. Has Jim Carrey as the main character. I love Bruce Almighty so much. I love that movie. That is a wonderful movie. What's the deal with all the meat beating in Egyptian mythology? I asked that myself. Beerus versus Thor? Oh, Beerus. No contest. Lord Beerus would win. Lord Beerus is basically Shiva. Do you know what Rise Son of Rome is? And if you do, are you ever going to play it or do a review or mythical inaccuracy? When I first saw the reveal for Rise Son of Rome, I really wanted to play it, but it was Xbox exclusive, and I don't have an Xbox. Then I heard it sucked. I don't know. Maybe it's on PC now. I'll take a look in the future. Andre, thank you for the donation. There's no message, but thank you very much. Was the story of Lucifer inspired by the story of Prometheus? Oh yeah, the whole, like, going and doing something with humans you're not supposed to and then getting punished. You know, I never thought of it that way. And I would say it's very possible that one influenced the other. That sounds very interesting. You know, maybe I could do something like shockingly similar stories with that. That's a good idea. Hulk comics versus Record of Ragnarok. Oh, you're saying, like, could Hulk beat all the Record of Ragnarok contestants? Hell yeah. Especially Green Scar Hulk from, like, World War Hulk. I think he'd wipe the floor with everybody. Have you done a video on Medusa's sisters? Have I? I don't think I have. No, I don't think I've ever talked about Stheno and Euryale. I should, honestly. I think I could do a video talking about all the Gorgons, like Medusa, Stheno, Euryale, and the other ones that people don't really know about. What interests do I have outside of mythology? I love Legos, I love video games, I love comic books, I love Star Wars. I mean, Lord of the Rings is kind of myth-based, but I love that. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, kind of myth-based, but you get the idea. I love the Gone series by Michael Grant. I'm actually reading Monster right now. I also really like Disney. Well, at least I used to before some of the recent stupid crap they've been doing. God, I still need to. People have been asking for a video about that Snow White announcement. Gonna have to do that. Ugh. But yeah, how do you know so much about myths? I've been into them since I was 3 years old. My mom used to read them to me. She used to read me Greek mythology and Arabian Nights, and it really got me into the whole thing. Then when I got older, my mom bought me Age of Mythology for Christmas, and that got me into Egyptian and Norse mythology. And then there was this show on TV called Jackie Chan Adventures, and that got me into Chinese mythology. And I read this book as a kid called The Angry Aztecs by Horrible Histories, and that got me into Aztec mythology. Mythology just kind of kept falling into my life, and I kept getting more and more and more into it. Do I know any Australian mythology? I have a couple of Australian videos, like I made a Rick and Morty in Australia, and the Yaramayahu. So yeah, there's that. And then there's also the Huru, but there's some debate as to whether that's an actual myth or not. Snow White is like Heimdall, very white. Is there a god of energy in mythology? Or is that just Zeus because, you know? God of energy. I'm sorry, I don't know. Any good Alaskan myths? I have some Inuit mythology videos on the channel. There's some good ones. See ya, man. Kamehameha. Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. I think, movie-wise, the Lord of the Rings movies are better than the Star Wars movies. But with expanded lore, there's just so much Star Wars has created, so in that regard, I think Star Wars shines. What's my favorite Arabian Nights story? Probably The Seven Voyages of Sinbad. It's a really cool story, honestly. Really long one, too. Always the biggest section of any Arabian Nights book. I already answered the Zagreus question. Any criticism? Do you think criticisms of Lore Olympus are unfair? Well, I haven't heard what the criticisms are. Like, what are they? Like, Lore Olympus is a cute little take on Greek myth. I don't have any problems with it. Are you going to watch the new Haunted Mansion movie? I'll give it a chance. I'll see if it's any good. Can you do an inaccuracy or review video on Hell of a Boss? Maybe. I honestly know nothing about that. Favorite fake mythology from modern fantasy? Okay, I answered this earlier, but I like the mythos of Star Wars and the mythos of Aragon. So there you go. God of Red Bull is Icarus. Ah, you saw my Icarus video. Who would be a good matchup for Fenrir to fight? Cerberus could be interesting. I don't think Amit's big enough. Maybe Amit, though. That could be cool. And um, maybe Sharvara and Sharaba from no, not Sharaba. What the two dogs from Hinduism could be an interesting fight against Fenrir, or maybe they'd be a good fight against Skull and Hati. That could be cool. Zeus versus Odin. I think Odin would win. Who is the most arrogant god? Oh man, how do I answer that? There's so much arrogance in mythology. Let's say Ares, just to be safe. Do you only read whoa, what was that? Do you read only mythology, or do you also read history? I don't really read history as a hobby. I'm not a historian. I don't know history nearly as well as mythology. My brother knows more history, though. He did well in history growing up. Rate Hades boss fight in God of War 3. Oh, it's really epic, the Hades boss fight in God of War 3. I'd give that a 9. That's really cool. I like it. Okay. Have you ever gotten a platinum trophy on any game in general? Yeah, actually, I have several platinums. I have platinums in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. I platinumed the entire Spyro Reignited trilogy. I platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn, and I almost platinumed Forbidden West. I just can't beat those Machine Strike games, goddammit. I platinumed The Force Unleashed. I platinumed Infamous Second Son. So yeah, I have a lot of platinums. I don't know every single one off the top of my head, but I try to get platinums. I like getting platinums. Difference between Norse and Finnish myth? You know, I still haven't read Finnish myth, so it's hard for me to tell you, but I mean, I imagine they're pretty different. Have you read Beowulf? Yes, I have, and I think the movie actually took a really interesting take on the story. I really like what they did in the movie. It's pretty sad. Apophis versus Jormungandr? Easy Apophis. Apophis can swallow the sun, Jormungandr can fit around the earth. Guess who would win that fight? Hades is evil in Marvel Comics? I'll bet he is. Strongest non-omnipotent creature or god? Well, probably Chaos, then, in Greek myth. I don't think they ever say he's omnipotent. Oh shoot, it has been over an hour. Okay, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon, so I'm gonna try to rapid fire through you guys' questions. I'm also a mythology guy, good for you. What's your opinion on Lovecraft mythology? It's really unique and crazy. Can you please do an accuracy of Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas? You know, I think I will do that, actually. Favorite mythology, Greek and Japanese. They say it's too long and feminist propaganda despite them showing opposite happening in the story. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Barbie movie? Shiva and Zeus's roles have been switched in what? In Record of Ragnarok. Yeah, kind of. Do you know the Elder Scrolls mythology? I've played Elder Scrolls Online. I actually haven't played Skyrim. My brother played Skyrim, but I might play that in the future. What type of Christian are you? I'm a mix of Catholic and Orthodox. The Orthodox kind of comes from my mom. Whoa, what was that? Hold on. Shoot, I hate what they changed. Is there any Georgian mythology? Well, Georgian is mainly Orthodox right now, from what I know. But you could also include them in Slavic mythology, so that counts. I believe all gods exist. Good for you. Do you know any crap, where'd it go? Do you know the Leshy from Slavic myth? Yes, I do. They had that in The Witcher, actually, also. Also, I don't know if it's myth-based, really could probably fit in some sort of shorter TikTok, but I think there's myth stuff in Turning Red. I did a video discussing Turning Red, and I also talked about Turning Red in my ranking 2022 movies video. So there you go. Lore Olympus. What about Lore Olympus? I'm Hades. Oh crap. Do you like Digimon? I liked the original Digimon. I didn't really watch the sequel series. Are Rick Riordan books based on... Hold on. Are the Rick Riordan Jackson-based books factually correct? As far as I know, yeah, Rick Riordan pretty much gets all his stuff right. He takes small liberties to make the story more interesting, like having Athena have kids, but I like those. Can you do an inaccuracy of X-Men Apocalypse? It's not based on myth. There's nothing to talk about in that. It's literally just, he just calls his four horsemen the four horsemen, but there's no actual mythology in that. Which god would I like to be? I'd like to be a god of people having a good time, because I'd like to make people's lives easier. That's what I'd like to do. Eris versus Chaos? Chaos, easily. Eris is not nearly as powerful as Chaos. I like your content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Have you read the Iron Druid series yet? Not yet. It's on my reading list. What do you know about Germanic mythology? I'm curious. I mean, there's a lot of cross between Germanic and Norse. It's almost exactly the same thing in a lot of ways, from what I know. I was talking about Lore Olympus, yes, but what were you saying about Lore Olympus? Who is the strongest Greek god outside of Heracles? Well, the strongest Olympian is Zeus, and the strongest Greek god in general is the primordial chaos, as far as I know. Favorite African YTH? I think you meant to say myth. Okay, favorite African myth. If we're not including Egyptian, it's the Tale of Anansi. I really like that. Fellow Hades fan? Yes, indeed. How to end videos tutorial? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to end videos. Is there Russian mythology? Yes, Slavic. Why is Odin obsessed with knowledge? Because everyone has their thing, and that's Odin's thing. Is there prehistoric mythology? There actually is. We actually have proof that cave people believed in life after death, but obviously since they didn't write words, we don't really know much beyond that. Would it be possible for me to eat Kronos since he's been chopped up? I believe it would be, but it would probably be very uncomfortable since the bits of him would remain alive inside you. Okay, I'm gonna stop. My god, the chat is moving so fast. Okay, Germanic and Norse are almost the same, like Greek and Roman. Thank you. Can you do a myth of Bloody Mary or Church Hellhound in English mythology? I probably will do that, yes. I was talking about Lore Olympus's unfair criticisms, like calling it... like calling Lore Olympus feminist propaganda. I haven't seen anything that suggests that yet. I've done 2 videos reading it, and so far I really like it. So that's all I can tell you about it. I haven't seen any feminist propaganda in there. There was more of that in the Barbie movie. Would it be possible for me to eat... okay, I already answered that. Will you do a video on Heroes of Gibbon? I'd have to learn about them first. It seems like he hated so much, but how deformed was Hephaestus? There's no myth specifically saying how deformed he was. Mainly they say he was crippled after being thrown off Mount Olympus. I know that Quirinus is the original Roman god, but are there any other Roman gods that are not copies of Greek gods? Yeah, there's... the god of direction. What is his name? It was something. Hold on, I think I have a picture of him on here somewhere. He's in the Percy Jackson series. Janus is also an original Norse god. There's not Norse god, Roman god. Thank you. There you go. There's an original one for you. If you could have any power in the world, what power would it be? Telekinesis. I really want that. Have you seen the comic where Godzilla fights the Olympians and Yamato no Orochi? I really want to, but it's like $300 to buy it. How big is the Minotaur? I'd say maybe about 8 feet tall, maybe 7. The bad things Zeus did are metaphors. Okay. Do you love Greek or Norse Kratos, and why? I like Norse Kratos more because there was more character development there. How did Diomedes defeat 2 gods? By being insanely badass. Does air exist? It must. We're still alive. What's up, bro? Nothing but the ceiling, my friend. Do you love... Okay, I already answered that. No, grass does not exist. Okay, sure. What's the worst myth? Scientology. That's a scam. Avoid it. Why doesn't Apollo heal Hephaestus? Because he's a jerk. No. I'm also a Hades fan. Way to go. I think chaos is the embodiment of power, creation, destruction, and chaos. Well, I would agree with you there. Is there a Roman creature called a lemur? Not that I know of. Hi. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. It's been an hour and 25 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Thank you guys so much for interacting. And thank you for all the support on the Record of Ragnarok vid. I'm very glad I finally got it up, and I hope you like the further vids I plan to get out. And I know you guys want the card game. Trust me, I want it out even more than you guys do. It's my baby. It's my life's work. But thank you guys so much for everything. I do not know how to end videos.